Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings for Thursday, December the 22nd. Now we got a 2-game slate for Thursday. It's a really short slate, so this is obviously going to be a quicker video, but guys, we're still going to go game by game. We're going to talk through each one of these 2 games, going to give you my quick thoughts on the slate, what I do like, taking a first look on Wednesday night. Before we get started with the video though, as always, if you guys do enjoy these DFS videos, make sure you hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to the channel, check out the sponsor of the video, PrizePicks. So PrizePicks is a player prop based DFS site, very simple and easy to use. You're not, playing against other players, you're not making a lineup, you're just competing against PrizePicks projections pretty much. They have projections for basically every player, every starter. And you just take a look at their board, see what they have available. If there's any props that stand out to you, you just take more or less. It's pretty simple. You have to make at least 2 picks, but you can make up to 6 picks. You can mix and match sports on PrizePicks as well, and you can win up to 25x your money. So if you guys want to check them out, make sure to sign up with promo code NOAH. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100. And I know we have a shorter NBA slate today, but there's NFL going on, Thursday Night Football. Not the most exciting game between the Jaguars and Jets, but you could take a look at their board for the NFL slate. They already have stuff posted for Saturday's games. The full NFL slate this week is on Saturday, so you can take a look at their props for that. They have other sports as well, college football, college basketball. So definitely give PrizePicks a try, guys. Make sure to sign up with that promo code NOAH, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. And I should have a PrizePicks video posted for today. If I don't get it posted sometime Wednesday night, it should definitely be up sometime on Thursday. I'll be sharing probably 2 picks that I like for this little 2-game slate. So if you guys want to check out that video, as always, I do upload those usually Monday through Friday. At least try and get them up 5 days a week. But let's go ahead and talk through this little 2-game slate, short slate today. But I'm pretty sure on Friday, tomorrow, we have like a massive, I think it's 14 games on Friday. Massive slate Friday. There's no games on Saturday because it's Christmas Eve. But then on Sunday, which obviously is Christmas, we have the traditional Christmas Day slate. And I do plan on making a video for the Christmas Day slate. Probably going to try and get it up sometime either on Friday night or sometime Saturday, because I do want to cover the Christmas Day slate. It's obviously a really fun slate that we all enjoy playing. It's been something I look forward to every year. But let's talk through Thursday's 2-gamer. We'll start off with the first game of the night, the Spurs and the Pelicans. So we got some injury news to talk about. There's some injury news for both of these 2 games. So this is definitely going to be a slate where you probably want to be near your computer around lock. It is 8 o'clock Eastern time, lock time. First game of the night starts at 8. Next game starts an hour later. So hopefully we'll have like all the news that we need before lock. But starting off with the Pelicans, no Zion Williamson today, no Brandon Ingram as well. So they're going to be really shorthanded. Larry Nance is also doubtful. CJ McCollum, I made him the thumbnail for today. I know he's going to be like a really, really popular play. But at 7,500 in this matchup against a bad Spurs defense, it's hard not to consider McCollum like one of the best plays on the slate today. He's just going to have such a massive usage rate without Zion, without Ingram. The offense is going to run through McCollum. The price tag is definitely too low for this scenario. With these guys out, he should be like a 9K player, especially in this matchup. So really like CJ McCollum today. Really like Jonas Valanciunas as well. I think J-Val's minutes are a lot more secure without Zion Williamson. We did see J-Val play 37 minutes last game against the Bucks. He had like his best game of the season. That game was without Larry Nance. Larry Nance again is questionable. If Larry Nance sits with Zion being out too, like there's a good chance we could see like 36, 37 minutes again from J-Val. But I think most likely scenario, most of the time here he plays like 28, 30 minutes. But even 28, 30 minutes from J-Val in this matchup against a bad Spurs defense that gives up a lot of fancy points to centers, I think it's a really good spot for him. So I'm big on J-Val and CJ McCollum today. I think they're both really good plays. I think Trey Murphy's a really good value. I mean, he's going to have a big role as kind of like the number 2, number 3 scorer on this team. His production's not been great lately, but the price tag's really low. The matchup's really good. And obviously no Zion opens up a lot of usage. So really like Trey Murphy for value. And then I would assume we'll probably see... It will probably be Trey Murphy that starts for Zion. Well, actually, their starting lineup will be CJ, Herb, Trey Murphy, J-Val, and then it probably would be the 4th starter, or the 5th starter, excuse me, would probably be Najee Marshall. So I think Najee Marshall is going to start here in place of Zion. He's really cheap, 3,700. He's a guy that we can definitely look to for value today. And Herb Jones as well. These are Herb Jones, Najee Marshall. These are guys I don't love playing, but they're obviously cheap, and they're going to get a ton of minutes, and it's a really good matchup. So I think Herb Jones looks like a pretty good value as well. There's a lot to like from the Pelicans today. And honestly, I think the whole starting lineup for the Pelicans, CJ, J-Val, Murphy, Herb, and Najee, I think all 5 of those guys are in play today. Would I play the whole starting lineup in one lineup? I don't know. Like, it's a 2-game slate, so obviously we don't really have a ton of options. But I definitely think you can play 3, 4 Pelicans today, maybe 5, honestly. And then, like, off the bench, if we're looking for some other values, if Larry Nance plays, I'll be interested to see, like, is he just going to be the backup center? Is he going to split minutes with J-Val? Or are they going to play J-Val and Larry Nance alongside each other? We might see them play Nance and J-Val alongside each other. If that happens, I think Nance has kind of a decent minutes ceiling. He could get like 26, 28 minutes here, but if him and J-Val are going to split the center minutes, then I'm not super in love with Larry Nance. But I think without Zion, we could see them play Nance and J-Val together. So I think at 4,600, especially with how good of a per-minute producer he is, even if he comes off the bench, I think Larry Nance is in play for value, more for GPPs. But like the rest of the guys, like Alvarado, Dyson Daniels, don't think any of these guys are really viable. They might start Dyson Daniels in place of Zion and just go with like, might slide Herb down to the 4. So, in a scenario where Dyson Daniels starts, he could maybe be someone, worth considering for value. But that's probably it for the Pelicans. Definitely, their starting lineup is going to look really appealing here. Pretty much all 5 starters I'm kind of interested in for today. And then on the other side with the Spurs, so Keldon Johnson is doubtful for today. Jakob Poeltl is probable. He's expected to play. With Keldon Johnson doubtful, we can expect a bigger role for Devin Vassell, a bigger role for Trey Jones. I don't love the matchup for Devin Vassell. I'm assuming he'll be guarded by Herb Jones here, and that's obviously definitely a scary matchup. But we saw Vassell have a really good game last game without Keldon Johnson. Played 29 minutes. Minutes weren't super high, but he was really productive. Had 42 Draftkings points. That was obviously a really good matchup against the Rockets. This is a much tougher spot. At 7,400, I think Vassell is priced about right for today when you factor in the matchup. But I think his upside is still there just because he is going to get a lot of usage. And while he could be inefficient, he could take a lot of shots. And, volumes sometimes is all you really need. So I could definitely see a scenario where Devin Vassell shoots the ball like almost 20 times tonight. So at 7,400, I think he is still viable. Trey Jones at 6,500, I think is fine as well. Trey Jones is not like he's not an offensive first. He's a guy that's going to look to facilitate first. He's not a guy that's really going to go out there and score a ton. But I think without Keldon Johnson, they kind of need offense, and Trey Jones, can provide that when he wants to, I guess. I think he's kind of an underrated scorer. His brother Tyus Jones, I think, is like the same way. Tyus Jones is a really underrated scorer. I think Trey Jones is kind of the same as well. He's a guy that he doesn't look to score, but he can score when he wants to. And he's had some big scoring games this season. Like he had that 26-point game against Houston. I think that was without Keldon Johnson, or it might have been without Devin Vassell, one of the two. But at 6,500, I think Trey Jones is a solid mid-range play today. I think he's firmly in play. Now, Jakob Poeltl is 6,400. We don't really know how many minutes he's going to play here. He's been on a minutes limit the last 2 games since he's come back from injury. I think until we see his minutes get up there, like it's probably going to be tough to go there. He did get into foul trouble last game, though. He did have 5 fouls in those 22 minutes. At 6,400, like I think with him probably still kind of limited. I'm not super into Jakob Poeltl today. It's just, until we see the minutes start to get back to normal, he's going to be a tough guy to really roster until his price comes like way down or something. And obviously, you're not really going to go to Zach Collins. Doug McDermott is like an okay value, but not a guy I'm super interested in. I think Josh Richardson and Keita Bates-Diop are my 2 favorite values from San Antonio. Keita Bates-Diop will probably be the guy who starts here in place of Keldon Johnson. I think he did start last game. He played 27 minutes, had 23 Draftkings points. Keita Bates-Diop is not like a great per-minute producer, but if he starts, I would assume he plays around 30 minutes. It's a okay matchup. I think at 4K, Keita Bates-Diop does look like a decent value today. And then Josh Richardson's probably going to come off the bench, but he should have pretty good usage, especially playing without Keldon Johnson. He should be the guy that gets a lot of usage with the second unit. So at 4,200, I am interested in Josh Richardson as kind of like a GPP value play. And that's probably it for San Antonio. I don't think there's anything else I'm in love with here. Jeremy Sohan, been coming off the bench lately. Maybe without Keldon, you see him play a few more minutes, but his minutes have not been super high lately. He's kind of a tough guy to trust right now. I think I'd rather go to Keita Bates-Diop, but it will be interesting to see like what Sohan's ownership is. Obviously, on a 2-game slate, he's viable if you're playing large field tournaments. But if I was playing like one lineup, I think I would take KBD over Sohan today. But that'll do it for that game. I think we pretty much talked about all the guys I'm interested in here. So let's move on to the next game, talk about Washington and Utah. So for the Wizards today, got some big injury news to monitor here with Kristaps Porzingis. Porzingis was a late scratch last game. Did not participate in shoot-around, then got downgraded to questionable, didn't wind up playing with the illness. He's questionable once again with the same illness. It's going to be interesting because, it's a really good matchup here against Utah. I think if Porzingis plays, He's a fine GPP play. The price tag at 9K does feel pretty high, especially with Kuzma healthy, with Bradley Beal back and healthy now. But man, the matchup is so good. Like, I could definitely see Porzingis having a big game here, even playing with Kuzma and Beal. Last time they faced Utah, he put up 55 DraftKings points in 32 minutes. The Jazz have just been so bad defensively against centers this season. I think it's a really good spot for Porzingis. So I'm kind of interested in him if he plays. If he doesn't play, we'll see Daniel Gafford most likely start at center again. At 5K, I think Daniel Gafford would be one of the best value plays on the slate. Last game he started, he played 29 minutes, had 26 DraftKings points. That was definitely not the best matchup against Phoenix. This is obviously a much better matchup against Utah. If we get anywhere near 30 minutes from Gafford today at this price tag in this matchup, he should easily outperform this 5K salary. So whoever starts the center, if Porzingis plays, I have interest in him. If Porzingis is out and Gafford starts, I really like Gafford. I think this is a matchup I've just looked to target all season is centers against the Jazz. So the rest of the Wizards, though, like Kuzma and Beal, at their price tags, I think they're priced about right, but I will say that if Porzingis gets ruled out, it does benefit both Kuzma and Beal. Kuzma had a pretty good game last game, 51 DraftKings points in 37 minutes. He's been playing amazing this season. Don't love the spot for him as much as I do for like Porzingis, but I think if Porzingis were to sit, that obviously would make Kuzma look more appealing. I think Bradley Beal would look more appealing as well. His numbers have been pretty good this season with Porzingis off the floor. Had a good game last game, played 35 minutes, put up 46 DraftKings points. Really good usage, took 20 shots. I think we could expect another big role for Bradley Beal today if Porzingis were to get ruled out. If Porzingis plays, then I think Beal is kind of priced appropriately. Wouldn't have a ton of interest in him. And the rest of the Wizards, like Denny Avdia, Monte Morris, I think these are guys I'm just like, these are just like GPP dart throws. I think if Porzingis does get ruled out, I think that benefits Denny Avdia a little bit. Denny Avdia did have a pretty good game last game. He had a double-double. He played 36 minutes. Obviously, Porzingis is a really high-usage player, so getting him off the floor is just going to kind of benefit everyone a little bit. At 5,700, I'd still be interested in Denny today if Porzingis is out. If he plays, though, not super interested in Denny. Same could be said for Monte Morris at 5,100. Not super interested in him. If Porzingis gets ruled out, he becomes slightly more appealing. But that's probably it for Washington. Now, on the other side, looking at Utah, so you got Lauri Markkanen at 8,300. Lauri Markkanen coming off a really big game last game against the Pistons. Played 36 minutes, had 51 DraftKings points, shot the ball incredibly well last game. 13 for 20 from the field, 9 for 13 from 3. Don't know if we can expect that type of efficiency again. At the $8,300 salary that he's at today, I don't love Lauri Markkanen on the slate. I think there's other guys I'd probably rather go to, but obviously on a two-gamer, he's viable in tournaments. Jordan Clarkson at 6,900 feels priced about right. Don't love him in the spot against the Wizards, but I think on a two-game slate, he's a viable option. I know Jarred Vanderbilt had a really big game last game, put up 48 DraftKings points in 32 minutes. He's been a guy that I've played at times this season, but now that his price tag is up to 5,900, not super interested in Jarred Vanderbilt. He is a good permanent producer, so like he can have these games randomly where he just puts up like 40 DraftKings points. But I'm not, super interested in him at this salary. I mean, you kind of need him to have that big game to pay off this price tag. If he goes out there and puts up like, 15, 20 DraftKings points, you're going to be toast. So not super interested in Vanderbilt, even though he had a big game last game. Probably going to be a guy just kind of avoid today. For other Utah injuries, Colin Sexton, did want to mention him. He is questionable. Don't know if this injury impacts too much, but I think if he does come back, probably like a small downgrade for Jordan Clarkson, small downgrade for Mike Conley. Mike Conley's been really bad since he came back from injury. He has not been productive at all. At 5,300, I'm not super interested in Conley today. His minutes have also not been that great either. And obviously, if Sexton returns, that's just kind of another guy that could take minutes away from Conley. Probably going to avoid Conley on the slate. Walker Kessler has been starting lately in place of Kelly Olynyk. Should once again start today with Kelly Olynyk out. Not been super productive on a permanent basis. Not been playing massive minutes either. But so far this season, in the minutes he has gotten, Walker Kessler has averaged around a fantasy point per minute. And I would think he probably plays 25, 28 minutes. His price tag's up to 5,400. If Porzingis gets ruled out, I would prefer Gafford over Kessler, but I think Kessler is okay for value at the center position. If you need a pay down option, I think he is in play. And obviously, if Porzingis gets ruled out and we don't, or if Porzingis plays and we don't have Gafford as a value option, then Kessler is someone you could go to. But the rest of Utah, like the bench guys, Beasley, NAW, I don't think I'm going to these guys even on a two-game slate. Maybe Beasley you could go to. I mean, his role is going to be pretty consistent regardless of if Colin Sexton plays or not. But Beasley's a guy that's kind of tough to really predict. He can have games where he gets hot from three. He can also have games where he just kind of disappoints. At 5,200, he feels priced about right. But on a two-game slate, he's a viable option. But I think that's it, man. It's a 2-gamer, so obviously this was going to be a shorter video, guys. But I still did want to give you kind of my quick thoughts on this 2-game slate, what I like, taking a first look on Wednesday night. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, man. As always, appreciate you watching. Hit that like button if you guys did enjoy. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And again, if you're new to the channel and you have not checked out PrizePicks is the sponsor of this video. You guys can sign up for PrizePicks and use my promo code NOAH. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. Again, I should have a PrizePicks video posted for today, either sometime Wednesday night or sometime Thursday. I'll get a PrizePicks video up, probably talking through a couple plays I like for Thursday. Probably just 2 picks I'll give out since it is a smaller slate. But if you want to know some plays I like for PrizePicks today, check out that video when I do upload it, either Wednesday night or sometime Thursday. But again, guys, good luck on this little 2-game slate. We'll be back for Friday's big 14-game slate. And then, should have a video up for the Christmas Day slate on Sunday. Hope you guys, have a good day. Hope you make some money tonight, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.